called the bank and I'm like really frantic. I'm like, hello, what's going on? Yes, sir. Welcome back to another video, you guys. So before we get started, before I say anything about this video, you need to like, comment, subscribe, and click the post notifications bell, because I know this is not your first time being here. This is not your first go round or your first rodeo. You've been to my channel before and you keep coming here and watching my videos and not liking, commenting, or subscribing or turning the post notifications on. So what's really tea? But anyway, let's just get right into it. I'm basically going to tell you guys about the time that I got scammed / robbed when I went to Las Vegas last year. So all of this whole trip was impromptu. Basically, it was the day before. My friend hit me up. She was like, girl, you should come to Las Vegas because we going to Las Vegas and I want you to come. And we had just rekindled our friendship. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try to make it. I start looking at plane ticket prices. The plane ticket prices was like $4,000. Not even really that much. It was more like $400 or $500. But I was like, I don't really have this kind of money or this kind of time to be paying for these plane tickets. So I hit up my good friend at the time, and I was like, hey, I really want to go on this trip. Would you mind throwing me a little bit of money for the trip? And he was like, well, how much is it? So for the plane ticket and a hotel, it would have been like $600. So guess what he did? Gave me the $600. So he was nice enough to give me the $600 that would have covered my plane ticket and my hotel, and he was nice enough to give me a little bit of spending money too. So I know what y'all thinking, oh, this is a whole sugar daddy. He was not a sugar daddy. He was just a good friend at the time. So I ended up booking my flight. I ended up sending her the money for the hotel, and we was good to go. We was ready to fly. We was ready to fly. And then he was nice enough to take me to the airport. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So, I got my little ride to the airport. Everything was cool. I also was fortunate enough to get a straight flight. So I didn't have to have any layovers, because y'all know layovers are the damn devil, especially when they be like 30 minutes apart and everybody taking forever to get off the plane. But that's neither here nor there. We gonna move on. So I get to Nevada. The flight was maybe like 4 or 5 hours, straight flight. And I'm ready to meet my friend. I call her. I'm like, hey, girl, because I flew into, I don't know, Nevada airport, capital, whatever it was called. But it was like the biggest airport. And so it was just super impossible to find my friend. I was like, hey, girl, where are you at? I'm trying to find you. And I'm in whatever terminal. She was like, oh, I'm in this terminal. So I had to take a train to get to the terminal that she was at. It was like the airport inside shuttle train thing. So while I'm on the escalator, and this is important details that y'all need to make sure that y'all pay attention to, because this is where all the fuck shit started to happen. So I get a text message to my phone, and I don't know who it's from. It's just from a regular number. You know how you get text messages from those numbers that be like, oh, it's 50% off of cat food, or you get 25% off of hair debalding, whatever. It was one of those numbers. So I just kind of ignored it, but I kind of glanced at it, and it didn't really make sense to me, because it said like my name and like some other details that I didn't really pay attention to at the time. So I just let it go, and I got on the shuttle and I went about my business. So I meet up with my friend, we reunite, we good, and we getting ready to go, throw down in Las Vegas, how we getting ready to do, So then the next day, I look at my account, because I think that she had called us an Uber somewhere, and I was trying to send her the money for half of the Uber. So I looked at my account, and I noticed that my savings account was like $3,000 shorter of what it was supposed to be. So I was like, well, what the fuck happened? Because I knew I had just bought a MacBook, but I didn't know why else, because the MacBook wasn't $3,000. So I look at my account, and basically somebody was siphoning money through Zelle out of my savings account. It was like 3 or 4 different transactions. The first one was for like $1,200. The second one was for like $700. The third one was for like $500. So I was like, oh, no. I called the bank, and I'm like really frantic. I'm like, hello, what's going on? Somebody is taking money out of my account through Zelle. Shut it down. Close it up. Freeze it. I need this to be stopped immediately, right? So they're like, okay, we're gonna figure it out. But you know how they gotta transfer you to 18 different departments before you really figure out who your true destiny is in terms of speaking to people. So I ended up getting transferred a bunch of times, and then I was able to actually have somebody freeze my account. So I was really confused, and I was really hurt, because I was like, how the fuck did this happen? What is this about? So then that made me say, oh, well, let me go back and look at this text message that I got. Girl, why did this text message have my full name in it, my social security number, my whole birthday, my account routing number, and actual number, my PIN number? It had all of my life information in this text message. And I was so stupid, I didn't even realize it at first. I thought that, because also another issue that I was having was I couldn't call anybody, or I couldn't receive any calls, and that didn't become an issue until I got to Nevada. So I'm thinking that Boost Mobile just can't keep up with the times. Like, they just can't keep up with the fact that I'm on the run. So now my whole service is messed up. That's what I'm thinking. So I thought that the text message that I got at the time that had my name in it was trying to tell me something about my messed up service. But in actuality, it was somebody trying to steal my identity. And so when I looked at that text message, I was like, oh my God, like somebody has my literal identity. I don't know how they got that. You know, y'all know those credit card protector cases things where you can put your credit cards in there and people can't steal your information. I think that because I didn't have that, somebody was able to somehow swipe the information from my credit cards and get access to my social security number. Or maybe I was connected to the Wi-Fi and they dug into, I don't know what they did, but girl, they got it. So I put a freeze on my account and I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck am I gonna do? Luckily, I'm a resourceful person and I have multiple bank accounts and multiple avenues and ways of getting funds. So I wasn't all out of sorts. I was gonna be fine. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. No, I don't. So then right after they froze my account, I just didn't even want to use, because they were taking the money out of they took it out of my savings and my checking. So I think the first transaction was the $1,200 out of my checking. Then the second one was out of my savings, and then back and forth. So I didn't even want to use my Bank of America, period. I just put that shit away. So then, and it was just annoying, because first I started having issues with my phone where I couldn't call people. And people couldn't call me. I couldn't even send text messages unless I was connected to the Wi-Fi. And I had paid my bills and my phone was off. Then somebody was taking money out of my account. So it was just a whole fucking hassle. So then I just left that alone. I was like, you know what? When I get back to Boston, I'll deal with that. It'll be good. I go about my day and my time, because I was only in Vegas for maybe 3 or 4 days. And I'm good. You know, everything is fine. Why did some more bullshit happen? Y'all, this was the scariest thing I've ever been through. So basically, the next thing that happened was it was time for us to go back to our designated states to continue and pick up on our business. So me and my friend Ubered to the airport. Her flight was at like 6:30, mine was at 6. We both just split an Uber to get there at the same time. I get to the airport, I'm getting ready to check in. So I thought, and girl, I'm looking through my purse, I can't find my wallet. I was like, okay, well maybe my wallet is somewhere else and my ID is just here, but it's just lodged somewhere. Girl, make a long story short, I'm sitting on the airport floor looking through my luggage, trying to find my shit. I'm taking everything. I was like, there's no way I don't have my ID. There's no way. I am so meticulous when it comes to making sure I have everything I need at the airport. But for some reason, I was having just bad luck in Vegas. Like, I did not have my ID. I didn't have my credit cards. I didn't have shit. And I've never missed a flight before. So I didn't even know what the fucking next steps was. Like, this whole thing was just disastrous. So I was like, oh my God. So I called the airport worker, official, whoever. And I was like, sir, I don't have any of my information. What am I going to do? I don't know nobody in I was about to say Advanda. I don't know anybody in Nevada. I don't know what to do. He said, just get in line and they're going to help you reschedule your thing at the front. So then the lady up front was basically like, do you have anything with your name on it? Like, do you have a birth certificate or anything? I said, oh my God, I don't have anything. Like, I was literally on the verge of tears. And also, I still needed to pay for my bag. And because I didn't have my wallet, I couldn't even like give nobody a credit card. I didn't have no Apple Pay or nothing. I was just out of sorts at this point. I was out of sorts. So then this girl behind me was nice enough to say, hey, I'll pay for your bag. I had somebody cash at me and then I cash at her the $30 for the bag. So the bag was taken care of. She was like, okay, just if you have a picture of your birth certificate, that's fine, because they just need something to validate your identification. And everything will be good. So she rescheduled my flight, but when she rescheduled my flight, I didn't know at the time that it was a standby. I was on the standby list, which means that you don't actually get guaranteed a seat on the flight. You just could be put on there if somebody misses the flight. So I didn't know that at the time. I'm all happy thinking everything's resolved. It's not resolved. So I'm thinking everything's good. I paid for my bag. I walk over to TSA. I get to TSA. TSA tells me, oh, that's not gonna work. You need a physical birth certificate or some kind of physical identification to identify yourself, because that's just not gonna work. So now I'm crying because it's not even like I was like a state away. I could hop on the train. I was all the way across the country, and I was so paranoid. I've never experienced anything like this before. I was like, do these people think I'm a terrorist? Like, I'm just a black girl that just wanted to have fun on somebody else's dime. Why can't I just go home? So then I start crying and I'm shaking, and then one of the, I guess, supervisors, super upper, whoever, came over and he was like, well, can you log, do you have bank information? Can you log into your bank information? I got about 14 banks. So I logged into one of them. I said, I am who I say I am. My name is Brianna Boley. These is my transactions, this, and he finally let me through, right? I said, thank you, Jesus. I'm thinking it's over now. But guess what? It's not. It's not over. So I finally get through TSA, and I'm just like, oh my God, you know, finally making it through TSA. I go to my little gate thinking I'm finna hop my butt on the plane. And the doors closed. Basically, the damn runway doors closed. And I went over to the lady and I was like, excuse me. I was literally holding up my thing like this. I was like, excuse me, I have my standby plane ticket here. I'm supposed to be on this flight. Oh no, that means that if somebody misses the flight, then you get on the flight. So you want to know what that means in actuality? That means that you could be waiting all day and maybe until the next day, because if nobody misses their flight, you're not getting on the plane. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try to buy another plane ticket. I was getting ready to buy another plane ticket, but then something told me to activate my finesse. I was like, activate it, Brianna, activate your finesse. So I went over to this different not a flight attendant, but y'all know the people that work the computers in the airport. I went over to her and I was like, excuse me, please, I need to get home. I don't know where I'm doing and where I'm going. Can you please help me get home? Please, I just need to get home. And she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna help you out. Let me break it down for y'all so y'all are not confused. I was in Nevada trying to fly to Boston. I missed my straight flight from Nevada to Boston. So the standby list that they put me on was supposed to send me to North Carolina first. Then I was gonna fly to Boston. But the lady that I talked to was in charge of a flight that went to Chicago and then to Boston. So she was like, just get on this flight, and when you get to Chicago, tell them that you're flying to Boston. So I took my little North Carolina plane ticket, and I went and sat on the plane, and I was like, okay, I realize it's a different time zone in Chicago, so let me just let these people know that I was really supposed to be going to North Carolina. Stay with me. I get on the flight. They let me on the flight somehow. I'm talking to I'm talking to the flight attendant, and I said, Miss, I missed my flight this morning going from Nevada to Boston. I was supposed to be on the standby list that took me from Nevada to North Carolina to Boston, but now I'm on this flight that's going to Chicago, and I'm not really clear about my instructions moving forward. She was confused. She had to go ask somebody else. So then they came back and they said, okay, you're fine. It's been communicated to us, and when you get here, this is what you're supposed to do. So cool. Boom. I land in Chicago. Now I'm confused because I'm like, well, where is my bag going? I know that the final destination is Boston, but I was just still confused about my bag. So then I asked them about my bag. They told me that my bag was fine. When I got to Chicago, I said, listen, I'm not even finna play with y'all. I'm not even finna do this standby stuff all day. Can I just buy a plane ticket to Boston? I didn't even care how much it was at that point because I had been through so much. Like, I had really been through the storm and back, just trying to get home, just trying to have a little fun on somebody else's dime. When I got to Chicago, actually, the lady was like, oh, no, we have your name on the list to fly to Boston for sure. You're going to be going to Boston tonight. God's got soldiers on the battlefield. God's got soldiers on the battlefield. God's got soldiers on the battlefield. I was like, thank God. Like, oh my God, that was such a whole ordeal. Like Las Vegas was fun, but it was just really just over the top. Like it was like bad thing after bad thing after bad thing. Like, that whole phone thing was super annoying because nobody could call me. Then I'm trying to be on the phone with Boost Mobile, like, please, like, can y'all fix my phone? What's wrong with your phone? This is wrong with my phone. They can't fix my phone because I need another phone for them to call in order to see what's wrong with this phone. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like, this is crazy. Then somebody was siphoning money out of my account, and then I missed my flight. Like, it was just a hot mess. But overall, I had fun. I got to go to the MGM Grand. I got to do some more Las Vegas stuff. I got to go swimming. It was nice weather overall. I spent a fortune. Even though he paid for my flight and but I still paid for a lot of my money went to this tattoo that I got. I got a tattoo. It says empathy and sympathy. No, it doesn't. Oh my God. Let me slow down. It says consistency and empathy, and I got it in Vegas. It was an impromptu thing. Vegas was fun. It was worth it. I would have did it again. But yeah, that's basically the time. I really don't know what I'm gonna title this because that was just a whole ordeal of sorts. That was the time that I got scammed, robbed, and just got my whole life snatched from underneath me in Vegas. So if you guys like this story time and you want to see more, make sure that you like and comment, subscribe, and click the post notifications bell because YouTube is not gonna tell you when I post. So if you want to know when I post, if you subscribe, sometimes they might not tell you when you subscribe. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? But, nah, I'm just kidding. Make sure y'all, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.